At Strayer University, we help students like you go from, is it possible, to anything is possible by offering access to up to 10 no-cost gen ed courses, so you can reach your goals affordably and fast. Visit strayer.edu to learn more. No-cost gen eds provided by Strayer University affiliate Sophia. Eligibility rules apply. Connect with us for details. Strayer University is certified to operate in Virginia by Chev and has many campuses, including at 2121 15th Street North in Arlington, Virginia.
At Chipotle, we also have a playlist. Guacamole as it's being hand-mashed. The sizzle of adobo chicken on the grill. The chopping of onions and cilantro. We call our playlist Real. Order now. Chipotle. For real.
There is no bigger star in the sports world right now than the woman on your screen. That is Caitlin Clark. Not that woman, albeit they did just win the Commissioner's Cup yesterday, beating the Minnesota Lynx, the Indiana Fever 74-59. They're still finding ways to get dubs, but in the midst of the winning, they are doing it without their star player. Bringing us on camera, the whole world has been talking about Caitlin Clark for several reasons. Does she deserve all the attention she's getting? Does she not deserve all the attention she's getting? Sitting here with Will Blackman, 10-year NFL vet, close friend of mine, even bigger friend. Well, bigger friend of mine than friend of the show. First time in the facility. Still trying to get him apparel for the facility, but that's neither here nor there. Will, I am concerned. Viewers at home, I'm concerned about Caitlin Clark, and I'm going to say something very honest. When you transition from college to a pro sport, you have to not only be able to handle it mentally, you have to be able to handle it physically.
Correct.
Caitlin Clark played roughly 100 games in high school, missed one. Caitlin Clark played 139 games in college, missed none. She's played 16 games this season and has missed 8. The Fever have played 16. She's missed 8. Caitlin Clark, emotionally, can she handle the WNBA? Absolutely. I don't think there is an individual in sports in the last 15 years that has had to take on more than Caitlin Clark. One, because of social media. It's bigger now than it has ever been. And also just because of what she is trying to do and had to do for the sake of the sport. The weight that she is carrying, both intentionally and incidentally, I don't think anybody has had to carry more weight. Emotionally, she's fine. Mentally, she's fine. Spiritually, I don't know. Physically, it's in question. Because they're 8-8, but you've missed 8 games. You missed the first 5 games with a quad injury. Right. You missed the last 3 games with a groin injury. Soft tissue injuries are injuries, you know, based upon playing pro sports. Soft tissue injuries are injuries that are most preventable. Those are injuries that occur because of excess usage. Those are injuries that occur because maybe your kinetic chain is off. Those are injuries that occur because there's too much load on your body, either in practice or in games. She's had 2 injuries now. Both injuries are soft tissue injuries. She didn't turn on somebody's ankle. She didn't get elbowed into a rib. They're soft tissue injuries. I am now become worried about Caitlin Clark being able to sustain the pro rigors of the game, not because she's not a pro, not because she's not a dog, but because she's seeing a type of coverage, a type of press coverage, a type of full court press coverage, a type of blitzing, and a type of trapping that nobody has had to deal with at this early in their career. Are you worried yet about Caitlin Clark?
I would say I'm slightly concerned. I'm not worried because, as you mentioned, all the stuff historically, she's not fragile. She doesn't have a history of being injury prone, but her body is definitely sending her warnings. And I go back to like myself. When I was at Boston College, I played both sides of the football my senior year. So I was returning kicks, I was playing receiver, I was playing defensive back, I was logging sometimes 100 snaps a game, and I got through my college season just fine. In my entire college career, I missed 1 game my freshman year. I got kneed in the quad, ironically. And then I get to the NFL, and my very first day in training camp, all I did was I was covering Greg Jennings in the slot. I just turned, snapped my foot in half, and it was never injured. And for me, maybe it was just a freak thing, but I think because when I got there my rookie year, I never went through a training camp like that in my life. In Green Bay, we didn't do conditioning. Practice was conditioning. It was Mike McCarthy. It was a high-level offense. And, I mean, it was straight NASCAR the whole time. Shout out to Fox. And so for me, it took me a minute to get acclimated because I was so used to doing the way I did things physically. And I think last year with Caitlin Clark, she intentionally, she talked about she was exhausted because from WNBA, from college, you go right to WNBA and you play immediately. And her playing style requires her to burn a lot of energy and be more susceptible to soft tissue injuries. And then clearly this offseason, she went to work and put in a lot of work so that she can sustain it. I go back to the NFL, now going into my second year. And this time of the year in the NFL, we go crazy. We want to come to training camp in tip-top shape. But sometimes when guys do too much physically, they come into camp in peak shape and there's really no room for any growth, or they truly fully haven't recovered. In high performance training, as hard as you train physically, I learned you have to recover as much.
So what do you think the issue with Caitlin Clark is, or do you think there is no issue?
I think in her case, she just has to continue to adjust, because as hard as you're going training-wise, and then you go to the court and her playing style, I mean, she's literally, it's like she's returning a punt, because I'm sure someone's looking for her, someone's trying to find her, she's constantly running, she's constantly doing these things. That's probably why she's pulling up at half court, so she doesn't have to go all the way down and run the full offense. So for me, it's just now she has to continue to be great in terms of taking care of her body. That's why we look at guys like LeBron, and it's so impressive for what he does, for the minutes he logs, for how explosive he is, for him to consistently be.
Well, here's the thing, though. When you talk about a guy like LeBron James and whatnot, he's physically imposing.
No question.
Caitlin Clark for the women's game is not physically imposing, which also begs the question of, can she sustain the grind? If it was A'ja Wilson and you're sitting there at 6'4", sturdy, I got no questions about A'ja. She can bang.
Yeah.
She's built to bang. She's big like that. Caitlin Clark is a average built, not too chiseled, not too cut, not overly athletic guard. That's what makes her special, because you're looking at her like, how can somebody do this? She doesn't look like Candace Parker. But two, that's what makes me concerned, because you're not that athletic.
I'd probably be more concerned about her training or whoever she's training with, more so than just her in general. Because again, due to her, she doesn't have an extensive injury history.
But at this point now she does. Right, you've missed 50% of the games, 16 games into the season. I believe the W, Matt or Rodney, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the W is only 40 games. It's not 82 like the NFL, so it's a 40-game season. So if you've already missed 8 out of 16, you're nearly 50% of the way through the season. At this point, you do have to start to wonder, are these injuries going to mount up? You're not injury-prone until you are. I'll say a name that everybody's familiar with, Dak Prescott. The long conversation early on in Dak Prescott's career was Dak is an injury-prone, while the person that was drafted in the first round, with Dak being drafted in the fourth round, Carson Wentz, he was. Divisional rivals, Carson Wentz, Eagles, Dak Prescott, Cowboys. And everybody always said, Carson's injury-prone. Remember, he never played and finished a playoff game because he had a concussion, because he had an MCL, because he had an LCL, because he had a shoulder injury. And Dak never gets hurt. But then you start to look at the last 5 years of Dak Prescott's career, calf injury, thumb injury, tore his hamstring off the bone, had a toe injury or a foot injury, something like that, or broke his leg, rather. All of a sudden, you're not injury-prone until you are. Caitlin Clark in high school only missed 1 game out of 100 games. Caitlin Clark in college plays 139 games out of 139 games. But then, Caitlin Clark, you get to the NFL, and now get to the WNBA, and now all of a sudden, you've missed 8 games out of 16 games. You've missed 50% of the games, and it's not going to get any easier on you. That's where my concern lies. Even last year, what people don't realize, and it's not talked enough about, Caitlin Clark before the All-Star break, because last year she knew she needed a break, 17 points a game. But then after the All-Star break, 21 points a game. Caitlin Clark, even last year when she was healthy, she needed rest, much more so than the other WNBA players. Sure, she's not injury-prone, but how can you say, and do you have to start to say now at this junction in time, she might actually be becoming injury-prone?
Yeah, again, the numbers you gave me with Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz, you gave me years. Right now, we're talking about, single-digit games as of now. And it is concerning, right? When you have the quad injury, sure, compensation eventually being the groin injury. And here's the hard thing, too. When you do sustain a certain soft tissue injury, like, you're going to kind of have to alter your playing style. And for her, she's just all gas. Like, that's her style no matter what it is. And even her mindset, how she plays, she's going to try to fight and play through it. So it's hard. It would be hard for her to adjust it, because the 3-ball is such an important, integral part of her game. And also moving and assist and being a true on dynamic playmaker, like, that's a huge situation. So for her, it's going to be hard for her to adjust her game based on the injury. So it's going to be big on her, again, physically addressing her needs so that she can continue to play her playing style. Even when she has a certain injury, she's going to have to do that.
Very thorough. Speaking of important and integral, nobody more important and integral to their team than T.J. Watt. He's in the midst of a contract dispute with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a Defensive Player of the Year in 2021. I would suggest the best defensive player in football over the last 5 to 10 years. But does he deserve better from his team? That's next in the facility.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Buying a car shouldn't eat up your week. That's why Carvana made it convenient. Car buying that fits around your life, not the other way around. You can get pre-qualified for an auto loan in just a couple of minutes and browse thousands of quality car options, all within your terms, all online, all on your schedule. Turn car buying into a few clicks and not a full week's endeavor. Finance and buy your car at your convenience on
Carvana.
Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Steelers made a lot of moves this offseason, but they have not given their superstar T.J. Watt a new contract. Watt skipped minicamp and is reportedly unhappy with his current contract situation. Bringing us on camera, Will Blackman still here. Shady McCoy now joining us in the building. Will, let me ask you this. T.J. Watt, one of the best defensive players in all of football, Defensive Player of the Year in 2021. I feel like the Steelers should have already paid him, made him the highest paid defensive player in football, surpassing that of Max Crosby and Myles Garrett. T.J. Watt, I still think currently is the best defender playing, followed closely by Myles Garrett. And if you say it's Myles Garrett, I will not dispute you at all whatsoever. Is it safe to say T.J. Watt deserves better from the Steelers?
First of all, my dog, what's up, man? Good to see you, man. What's up, dog?
Happy to see you, my brother.
Hey, man, it's been a minute. Deserve better. I think they're gonna get a deal done. I mean, he's clearly the best player on the team, has been for a long time. And I just feel like right now, yes, Max got his money, Myles got his money, and this kind of a standoff with Hendrickson and Micah and TJ. I feel like right now that's what's happening. That's the standoff because there's no reason for them not to. Now, we can say the management doesn't do anything because he's currently under contract. So clearly, they don't have to do anything. He could sit there at his, I think he's making 21 this year. But he deserves all the money he's going to get. But right now, I'm looking from a big perspective. Like, there's definitely a standoff. It's almost like Micah's waiting for Henderson to get paid, and then TJ's probably waiting for Mike to get paid. So eventually, he's going to get his money. It's just right now, they don't have to do anything. And I feel like that TJ's camp's kind of waiting to see what everyone else is doing.
I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, y'all all played this game. Y'all know how this thing works. It takes time. Listen, first of all, to answer the question, right, I'm going to say no. He doesn't deserve better. You know why? Because his job is going to get done. But this is going to get done. If I look at Aaron Donald, right, all the Bosa brothers, I look at Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett had to say, you know what, I want to go to a winning team to be happy, right? They paid him. Ezekiel Elliott, he had to go get monetized down in the Bahamas so he get a deal. Everybody goes to these issues. Micah Parsons, you think he's happy right now? He got a deal done? He's from Harrisburg. That's where I'm from. So I can tell you, no,
he's actually in camp, though. That's the good thing. Like, he came to work.
But you got to play the politics. But he don't want to be there. He want to get his money. So every superstar other than the quarterbacks go through this. So he'll be all right.
He'll be all right, but at what point do you get annoyed? Like, Shady, you've been in these situations. You became the highest paid running back in all of football. At what point is it taking too long? And also, it's like, don't make me beg for my bread. Especially if I'm T.J. Watt, I shouldn't have to beg for my bread. I think about how the Niners did Christian McCaffrey, as opposed to how the Niners did maybe Trent Williams. Christian McCaffrey, he had an all-pro season. He was Offensive Player of the Year following 2 seasons ago. And very quietly, the Niners repaid Christian McCaffrey. As opposed to Brandon Ayuk. Hey, can I get my money, please, Trent Williams? Can I get my money, please? You shouldn't have to, if you're T.J. Watt, have to really beg for your bread. Myles Garrett, you could suggest he had to beg for his bread because he had to put out that whole statement, I want to go win championships. Yeah. But the Browns paid him, I think, within a week or two. So, T.J., at what point, Shady, because you've been in these situations, is it taking too long? Why are we going into camp? I've been the best player.
Listen. Aaron Donald's one of my main guys.
Of course.
My boy, one of my best friends. And he's like, yo, can you believe that the Rams didn't really they wanted to pay me, but they dragged their feet. Everybody goes to this. This is not T.J. Watt's first time getting his paper. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. He had to wait before. You forgot? He had to wait before to get his money. So my thing is, sometimes it takes a little longer. I'm okay with it. All the best players that I know, when you're going to get your second big deal, your third big deal, they take time. And the owners, they try to find little small ways not to pay you all the money you deserve. But you got to do certain things. You know, I had a conversation with Jacobs from the Packers. Josh Jacobs, right? And we're not going all to his business, but we on TV. You know, TV, we like to run our mouth. So, anyway. And I'm like, yo, man, you deserve your money with the Raiders. You are one of the best running backs. You led the NFL in rushing. Mm-hmm. Why you didn't get your money yet? He said, well, they didn't give me an offer. So I'm sitting there like, well, what did you do? Did you say something? And you don't want to like the bad guy. Because you got the fans, right? The fans on your side. But soon you start talking about money, like, oh, he's been an individual. No. So when you look at T.J. Watt, he ain't really said nothing to the public. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really say much because he thinks the deal is going to get done. I think if he says something immediately like, hey, man, I ain't happy right now. You know, I'm the best player in the squad, which y'all all know. I want this type of money. I think there might be some little speed to getting a deal done if he says something like that. But if he don't, I think he knows that the deal's going to get done eventually. And I think that when you want something like that, it takes time. This ain't a $10 million deal, Acho. This is probably the biggest defensive.
40 almost.
You know what I'm saying?
More than it should be.
So if you won't wait, if I told you know what, Acho, I got a lottery ticket for you, dog, right here in my pocket. And all you gotta do is wait a little bit longer for this lottery ticket. Or I got some money in the other pocket. It's not a lottery ticket. It's good $20 million, though. You know, you can feed the family, the kids.
At worst, you're getting $20 million.
But look, you take that right away, the immediate $20 million.
I'm waiting, or I'm saying, don't move me to another team because they willing to give me the lottery ticket right away.
No.
What?
No.
Why no?
Move to another team? He's not going nowhere.
He hasn't won a playoff game, if I'm not mistaken, with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He's not going anywhere.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Unless you're going to rebuild the Steelers, like, you ain't moving him.
So if you know you're not moving him, why not just give him the lotto ticket?
Because I look at this situation, it's similar to, go back to 2007 with Strahan. You know, he was willing to he set out the entire training camp to get paid. And it's funny, you talk to him now, he said, had I known if it's going to cost me $200,000 just to get paid, he goes, I'd do it every year. Every year. So there's nothing wrong with being patient. Another elite pass rusher. He knows, like I said, TJ knows he's going to get paid. So right now, like Shady mentioned, this is how it goes. It's a standoff. I need to see what he's going to do. I need to see what he's going to do because maybe someone goes crazy and resets the market with their defensive end. Because Daniil Hunter got paid, who TJ Watt should get more than.
Then Max got paid.
Max Crosby got paid, who he should get more than.
Then Miles got paid.
And then Miles, who he believes he should get more than, and most people could agree to that.
He should. He's the next one up. Next one up. No matter who's better.
And then Micah. Micah's up. So it's just a matter, he's just sitting back, waiting to see what them two are going to do. So not just deserves better, he's going to get better.
If you're TJ Watt and you've been in Pittsburgh for 8 years, going on 9, I don't think they've won a playoff game. I think the last playoff win was in 2016.
It's been bad.
I may be wrong. It's been a long time. So haven't won a playoff game in your entire tenure. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're a 5-time All-Pro, a 4-time first-team All-Pro. At what point do you want out? Or do you just want to sit there and never win anything?
Real quick, have you been to Pittsburgh lately?
Never.
Have you been to Cleveland lately?
Yes.
When last time you been to Cleveland?
3 years ago.
Oh, that's not recent. But anyway.
I went to Pittsburgh last year.
If you talk about TJ Watt in Pittsburgh, bro.
You thought he played in the 70s.
Come on now. You go to Cleveland, you talk about Myles Garrett. Come on. So sometimes, like, you want to go to a winning team, but when you're such a freaking legend already there, it's hard to leave. So my thing is they're going to make the money right because they don't want to lose TJ Watt. It's bigger than just the Steelers. You know, in Pittsburgh, the football players there, all the legends, the great players, they are worshipped there. He ain't leaving there. And he started a lot of that stuff.
And his family's there, like everybody's
And the last thing is the money's coming.
Yeah.
The money's going to come. It's just a matter of the date you want.
Right.
I want it in July. I might not get it till the end of July. I've been there.
But how hard is it to play a game if you know you do not have a legitimate chance at winning? TJ Watt's not an idiot. At this point in time, he has to understand, and maybe with Aaron Rodgers, whom we'll talk about later, he might think there's a legitimate chance of winning. Every year, Shady, you laced up the cleats outside of maybe 2014 when Nick Foles got hurt and Michael Vick was hurt, and we started that season with the quarterback kind of carousel, if you will. Outside of that, I'm sure every year you took the field, you're like, McNabb, I can win a chip. Brady, I can win a chip. Pat, I can win a chip. Vic, I can win a chip. Will Blackman, you're saying Aaron Rodgers, I can win a chip. Brett Favre, I can win a chip. Eli Manning, I can win a chip. TJ Watt is not in the similar situation y'all are in. He has a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Before that, he had Russell Wilson. He had Kenny Pickett. He had Justin Fields. He had Mason Rudolph. He had Mitch Trubisky. I don't think TJ Watt is looking at himself saying, I can win a chip. How hard is it to play the game knowing that's not within the realm of possibility?
He's looking right now. First of all, Aaron's not coming there knowing that TJ's not going to be there. I'm sure that has been discussed. They're going to figure it out. But if I'm TJ, I'm looking over. I see a 41 Aaron Rodgers. He's still the best quarterback I had in a long time. Yeah. And then also you see them get Jalen Ramsey, you get Darius Slay, you get all these guys. So you're like, there's no reason for me to leave. He's going to get paid. It's just a matter of, like you said, just win. And if he got to chill, he got to chill. Here's the thing. He can miss as much time as he needs to and still go in there and cook.
Last thought, Shady.
No, I'm mistaken. You saw championships. What year did he win? I forget what year he won. He was player of the year.
2021.
Yeah. If I had to bet and gamble that he thought he was going to win a championship, he's probably said no. Do your job, dog. We all want to win championships. But your job is to get sacks.
Meet the most capable CR-V Honda has ever dreamed of. The all-new CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. With all-terrain tires and available enhanced traction control, it's built for wherever the day takes you. Heated front seats and a heated steering wheel, ideal for winter drives and crisp early starts. And with generous cargo space, it's ready for big gear and even bigger getaways. The CR-V Trail Sport Hybrid. Learn more at honda.com/CR-V.
NBA free agency, it is in full swing. So we need to see how some of the superstars in the league feel about their team's moves. It's time for Emoji Mayhem. If y'all watch the show, this is the best part of it. Starting with the Houston Rockets. Y'all know the blockbuster trade they made for Kevin Durant. They also added Clint Capella and Dorian Finney-Smith.
They got some size.
But they lost Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks.
Oh, you see how they played the playoffs. Let me tell you
JD, how should the Rockets feel about, how should KD feel about the Rockets?
Anytime we talk about Kevin, these are sharp. These are new. Okay. Anytime we talk about Kevin Durant, we need to talk about a superstar. Okay, as Ron Chase, put the other one on. Same thing, same meaning. He is a superstar, and he deserves to be treated as such. You go out there, you get some size, you get some defense. They were number 2 seed last year. Now you got the god Kevin Durant. Okay, watch out in the West. You better watch out.
He has to be excited. Got to be excited because, like Shady talked about, for the first time you could say in Kevin Durant's tenure since leaving the Warriors, he has a complete roster. Like when he went to the Nets, say what you will, and I've said a lot, the roster had several holes. When he went to the Suns, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, they're the same players, several holes. Now he's going to a team with a complete roster. Got to be excited.
KD, nose breathing emoji. Let's go. Let's go. They're going all in, building around him. Ime understands him. By the way, KD, I know you got smoke on this show. I'm a fan. Just let you know that. Like, KD, my dog, right here. What is that?
Look, all right, text him that. I'll tell you, beef with your boy.
I love you, Kevin. All right, moving on to the Lakers. They have added forward Jake. Larivia. All right, Colvin, you took 10 minutes to tell me. You knew I didn't know his last name, so don't get mad at me. All right, they lost Dorian Finney-Smith. How should LeBron James feel?
I mean, they didn't add much. I mean, nobody really knew his name.
Who is Jake Larivia?
He worked for State Farm. No,
well.
but you know what? Hey, I ain't gonna do that. If you made it to the pros, you deserve some type of respect. LeBron's happy with the shades. You see I left him on. I mean, he just signed up $52 million? Hey, man, hey. I let Blake figure that thing out, man. I got that paper.
Can I rock these? He's thinking right now. He just opted into his 52 mil. And he's looking right now who's available. We missed out on all these big centers. Who's available? So I think right now he's just waiting to see what other moves are gonna make. He's thinking. He's real. He's just thinking. He's watchful.
Who is Jake Larivia?
I watched him before, though. Now, look, one thing about this kid, he loves his teammates. He supports his teammates. I watched him on that bench, dog. You know what I mean? We all been there before.
Don't be like that, Emmanuel.
I got to zip him out.
Yes, you do.
Who's Jake Larivia?
No, don't do that.
You don't be like that, man.
Don't be like that.
Who is it? Anyway, Steph Curry. They haven't added anybody, but they did lose Kevon Looney. I know who that is. Shady, how should Steph Curry feel about the Warriors' moves?
I ain't talking, he ain't talking. What we trying to do, man? What we doing? I keep hearing these whispers. We might do this. We ain't doing nothing yet. So I ain't talking, he ain't talking. Steph don't do no crying. You got the wrong player.
No, he should. He might not be a crier, but he should. Kevon Looney, number 1 on the basketball court from the pick and roll game. I don't think there's anybody who could set screens as well for Steph Curry and truly knew outside of Draymond Green still on the roster, who knew how Steph liked to play the game and where Steph wanted to be. Also, Looney was kind of an integral piece, you could suggest, of that championship 2022. I mean, he is their janitor player. The guy does the dirty work. I'm crying.
He passes.
Where did he go? New Orleans? That we went. Looney?
But he got some money. Shout out to Looney.
Steph.
Why is he saluting?
Carry the team again. Let's go.
Oh, okay.
Stand up, motivated.
I hear you,
10 toes
Will.
down,
I hear you.
62 mil.
Okay, let's move on. Jalen Brunson. The Knicks have added Jordan Clarkson, but they haven't had any losses to the roster. 2-5. How should Brunson feel?
I like the roster already. You got some Eastern Conference Finals. It's been 25 years. Put these back on, please. You know, and Clarkson, he's a scorer. So when you come off the court, now you got somebody going to get you some buckets. So now we got to worry about you playing all these minutes. I like it.
That's tough.
I ain't.
That man's so dramatic.
How you doing that?
They don't have that coach.
So,
Oh,
That's
right.
gonna have a head coach?
Yeah. It's a poop job over there? Okay.
I have a head coach. I mean, the candidate's gonna come and do it. Listen, man,
I thought I farted or something. Like,
he should feel empowered, you know, especially him.
They don't have a head coach.
It's all good, man.
Kyrie Irving before said, we don't need no head coach.
Yeah, it's all good. Listen, he feels empowered. He's a certified all-star. He good.
The Denver Nuggets have made the most intriguing moves in my mind outside of the Kevin Durant trade this offseason. They added Cam Johnson and Tim Hardaway Jr., along with Bruce Brown, former champion with the Nuggets.
Shady.
But they lost Russell Westbrook, Dario Saric. Colvin, if you don't start putting names on this freaking prompter that I know, who is Dario Saric?
Oh, you shoot threes. He ain't bad.
Who is Dario Saric?
Yeah.
I've never heard of Dario. I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him. Michael Porter Jr., they also lost. I know him. Dario was not in the rotation last year.
No, he wasn't.
I don't know. Why did you? He's not notable. Anyway, Shady
You treat the backups nice. Why you
Shady
being
McCoy.
How should I'm on the set today, huh?
How should Nikola Jokic feel about the
I'm
Nuggets?
thinking like my favorite auntie, right? When her hair was scratched, she'd be like, that's what I'm doing. I'm thinking like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Because Michael Porter Jr. is a great shooter and he's like 6'10".
What are we doing?
Listen, I'm a Cam fan because I'm a North Carolina fan.
Oh.
I wouldn't have made that trade.
Bro, when that hair under that wig start itching and it's...
Because she thinking like,
Can I get
itching and she thinking.
So what's your... Okay, you go to Acho.
I'm thinking, Cam Johnson's a solid player. Michael Porter is Jekyll and Hyde. You have no idea who he's going to be on any given night. Michael Porter, I think, is one of the most unique players in the game. I don't know nobody who has a basketball stroke like that at that height, but simultaneously, he disappears too much. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm sweating as in like, whew. Like, can we get that roster back up, please? The
look at Dario Saric
the
again?
moves that they acquired, Tim Hardaway Jr., you bring back Bruce, you know, who was on the championship team. You get Giannis. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm like, whew, I'm glad they made some moves. I'm glad they got some defense. I'm glad they got some depth. I'm glad like we got people around me so we can go ahead and compete for another title.
Moving on, Giannis Antetokounmpo ending here. The Bucks additions. Now, these players we all know. Okay, right, thank you. Miles Turner was on the Pacers team that went to the championship. They added him. They added Gary Harris, but they lost Dame Lillard. They lost Brook Lopez. They lost Pas Connaughton. He was on the championship team. Katie, how should Giannis feel about the Bucks moves?
Now, listen, sometimes these shades mean you're cool. When I put my shades on,
You don't talk to
I'm
nobody.
pissed off. He's mad. He's cursing at his kids. He's cursing at everybody in the household. Sit your butt down. You know you be mad. Oh, you don't got kids, but you know what I'm talking about. All my championship players out of my team, they all gone. All the superstars, they
Why did
gone.
you put on the shades to be angry? It doesn't make any
Because
sense.
sometimes you don't want to talk to anybody. Like, when I'm at the airport, I don't want to talk to nobody. I just do this.
But you're not mad.
You never know. I don't want to talk to nobody.
The usage of the prop didn't make any sense.
No, when I'm mad, right, I put the shades on, I want to talk, I'm pissed off.
Like, I'm angry,
Think
but
about
I wouldn't put my
post-game
glasses on.
interviews when guys wear shades on.
But you don't wear dark shades, though.
That's fair.
I wear dark shades in the,
I bought
in the
some
shower.
movie shades because of you. You inspired me.
Yeah, I wear dark shades everywhere. You know what I mean?
I'm angry as well. I'm angry.
I'm nervous. I know he feels torn because he wanted more help, but he loses Dame. He's nervous. Extremely nervous.
That's fair.
Hey, Will, before we leave, because somebody makes an excuse for this guy all the time, Giannis. So if Giannis doesn't do well this year,
I cooked Giannis at the top of the show.
I don't believe
He did.
I don't believe
He
it. I
did.
gotta see
He did.
What, how did he say?
Yeah.
Everything.
Was it like Kevin Durant?
He went after his
or was it
own,
like,
man.
I did.
He went after his
Because he hate on Kevin Durant, but give Giannis a whisper.
I cooked Giannis at the top of the show.
Be like, Giannis could do better next year.